Hello and namaste everyone, Pratima here. So I have been using Samsung's latest mid-range phone, the Galaxy M56 for 2 weeks now. This phone is also called the Galaxy F56 if you buy it from Flipkart. Either way, you can only buy them online. It's not available in retail shops. And that's the main reason Samsung is able to price it quite low too, because selling online means you're cutting off the middlemen and selling directly to the customer. And with the bank offers and everything, the Galaxy M56 is available for under 25,000 rupees for its base 8128GB variant, making it a much better deal than something like the Galaxy A36 or the Galaxy A26, which I reviewed a while back. But is this a good phone for 25,000 rupees? Make sure you watch till the end to find out. Okay, let's start this review with the design first. And here Samsung has been heavily advertising this phone as the slimmest phone in the segment. And you can see this phone indeed is quite slim and it only weighs 180 grams. So the hands-on feel here is quite nice. It's not as heavy and wide as something like the Nothing Phone 3a Pro. And just look at the bezels. It's even slimmer than the more expensive Galaxy A56. Samsung has also included a more scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection on the front as well as the back. I also like the clean and minimal camera module. So overall, a solid B+ in terms of the design. I am not giving it an A+ because unlike the A series, there is no official IP rating here. Anyway, another thing I love about Samsung's mid-range phones is their displays. Here too, Samsung has included a nice AMOLED screen with good colors, a smooth 120Hz refresh rate, very nice touch response and good enough brightness. There's also HDR10 playback support on Netflix and other OTT platforms, but what's weird to see here is that it only has a single speaker. Yes, just a single speaker whose audio quality is not good enough in 2025. It's not very loud and immersive, and here too I found the Nothing Phone 3a Pro speakers to be much better. Samsung has also cheaped out on something as basic as the vibration motor. The feedback while I'm typing or pressing the navigation keys is just not impactful enough. And as you can see, this optical fingerprint sensor is also not very fast, something I have been complaining about on Samsung's mid-range phones for years now. Okay, let me talk about the performance now, and here we get last year's Exynos 1480 chipset, which we all know is not a good chipset for this price, but in a year's time, Samsung has somewhat optimized this chip to perform okay-ish, if not great. Games like PUBG and Mobile Legends are playable at 60 FPS with nice stability, although while playing PUBG, it does tend to overheat a lot. And even in normal day-to-day tasks like multitasking between 2 to 3 apps, this phone does not feel very fast. But that's practically the same with almost all Samsung mid-range phones. But the reason I don't complain or criticize that much about performance on Samsung's mid-range phones is they make up with excellent software experience. This phone has Android 15 with the latest One UI 7 out of the box, and you know I'm a big fan of how visually pleasing and fun to use the One UI 7 is. Samsung is also promising 6 years of OS updates here. Usually other brands offer 2 to 3 years of OS updates only. So this is another big plus for Samsung. Likewise, I also found the battery life to be good here. Typically, it provided me somewhere between 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, which is good enough, I would say. Again, nothing crazy like what Chinese brands are doing by providing 6,500 or 7,000 mAh silicon carbon batteries. But the M56 will provide you with at least 1 day of usage. Sadly, you don't get a charger inside the box, so you have to pay for it separately. I used my 65-watt PD charger and it took me around 1 hour and 20 minutes to fully juice up this device. Okay, lastly, let's talk about the cameras, and to be honest, I didn't find anything remarkable here either. The photos from its 50-megapixel main camera are quite ordinary, nothing extra. In fact, while I tested M56 cameras, I always felt that color reproduction could be more consistent. Its 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera's output is also quite average. The detail levels are quite poor, and most times the dynamic range takes a hit. Especially during the night, the ultra-wide images come out quite muddy. Its main camera brings out nice enough photos with good exposure management during the night though. The only things I like about M56 cameras is the way it handles skin tone in portraits and selfies. The little pinkish tone in the skin that this phone produces looks quite pleasing, and it looks natural as well. I tested the Nothing Phone 3a Pro's cameras alongside the Galaxy M56, and I would say that the Nothing Phone 3a Pro's primary and ultra-wide photos are better most of the time. The Nothing Phone 3a Pro also has a 3x periscope lens that brings out such nice subject focus and details in portraits, which the M56 just could not match. Although I will admit that the videos are slightly smoother from the M56 in 4K 30 FPS than Nothing's, but other aspects of M56 cameras definitely are somewhat weaker than the competition. Okay, so overall for around 25,000 rupees, I do think that this is the best Samsung mid-range phone to buy right now, and I would recommend you not get the Galaxy A26 or A36. M56 is just a better overall value. Having said that, I think the biggest competition of the Galaxy M56 right now is this phone, the Nothing Phone 3a Pro. It is slightly more expensive at 27,000 rupees after bank discounts, and I just think it is a better overall value than what you get with the Galaxy M56. It wins in pretty much all of the categories. It has a better looking design, much better speakers and haptics, smoother performance, equally good software experience, and that 3x periscope lens is just so much better. So until and unless you absolutely want a Samsung phone under 25,000 rupees, I think the better deal would be getting the Nothing Phone 3a Pro by just adding 2,000 more. Alright everybody, that was all for my full review of the Galaxy M56. If you had to choose between these two devices, which one would you go for? Do let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Saying this, I'm Pratima Adhikari, and thank you so much for watching.